We do have breaking news for you right now, happening now. We have live pictures as Deputy Jacob Pickett's body arrives at Connection Point Christian Church in Brownsburg. You can see the motorcade pulling into the church parking lot right now. That will soon be followed by a few squad cars, a few vehicles, and then you will see the hearse pull in as well. It is not far behind at all. The funeral is set to begin at 11 o'clock this morning, so just a few hours from now. This is a very short procession here. This is just the transport from Deputy Pickett's body from Crown Hill Cemetery to the church. The big procession with all of the stops and the pomp and circumstance and the people lining the route, that will happen after the funeral. We do have team coverage of this. Our Joe Malillo is there at Crown Point Cemetery. Here you can see the hearse carrying the flag-draped body of Deputy Jacob Pickett inside right here, pulling into the church. Soon his body will be taken out of the hearse, carried into the church to prepare for those 11 o'clock funeral services this morning. Again, this is a live picture from our crews there. Brittany Lewis is at Connection Point Christian Church there in Brownsburg to do this coverage for us. We'll be checking with her at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. We also here in studio have Deputy Chief of Lawrence PD, Garrett Woodruff, with us to give us some perspective on the day events right now. You know, Deputy Chief Woodruff, if you wouldn't mind giving your perspective here. Of course, right now the hearse is pulling up and soon the body will enter the church, guarded, as we've mentioned, at all times.
Yeah, there have been officers with Deputy Pickett every step of the way throughout the entire process, from the inception of the incident to this very moment and until the moment of internment. There have been law enforcement officers with him every moment.
Why is that? What's the significance of always that protection?
Sure, it brings great comfort to the family knowing that their loved one is never alone and is surrounded by brother and sister officers. That's of deep meaning to the family and a source of great comfort for them as well.
And no matter how many times we've all been through this, I can see that you're tearing up and getting emotional. It never numbs the pain, no matter how many times you've seen this happen.
Well, it's very meaningful, and as you can see, there's looks like there's several police canines there that are lined up as well. So, of course, it's emotional for everyone, and I think that's part of our humanity that makes this real.
For anyone just joining us, we spoke with Deputy Chief Woodruff just moments ago about the significance of all the canines being there. Of course, Deputy Pickett was a canine handler, and he had a very close relationship. And you're saying that these handlers, they're elite. They have elite status within these police departments.
Sure, yeah, there's a tremendous amount of training that goes into the development of a canine handler and his partner, and that's a specialty area and very elite. There's a tremendous amount of training, ongoing training, not just initial training, but ongoing training. That's an ongoing process throughout the career of a canine handler and his or her partner.
You know, we all know that dogs are the most loyal companions that any of us can ever have, and these handlers spend hours and hours a day. I mean, work, home, with
Sure.
How special of a bond is that?
Not just the handler, the entire family
Sure.
spends time
Sure.
with the canine. I know that from firsthand experience, and so you know, it's a partner, an asset to law enforcement, but is also a very meaningful to the family of the handler as well. It's a very close bond that is formed there.
So now at 7:50, the funeral set to start at 11 o'clock this morning. What happens from now until services begin? His casket will be taken into the church there, and that area will be for the proceedings there. For the service, that area will be dressed. All the flowers and all the other things that were sent will be there, and then there'll be some private moments with family and with close co-workers as well inside there before the service starts. And of course, filing in, you get that many people. I've heard there's upwards of 2,000 people that may be attending this service. Just moving all those people into a location, it takes time. From all across the country.
Yeah, not just law enforcement officers, but you know, citizens and members of the community that are there to pay tribute and witness these events as well.
When will the plan? I know the planning's already begun, but when will the setup begin for the actual procession? When will they start blocking off the streets and the routes?
Yeah, that's actually likely already underway,
Okay.
and will continue to be underway, especially as the services start to come to a conclusion.
It looks like they're opening the back of the hearse there. Was that a National Guard unit that we heard?
No, that's part of the Honor Guard.
The Honor Guard. There you can see Deputy Jacob Pickett's body enter into the Connection Point Christian Church there in Brownsburg, where his funeral will begin in about 3 hours. A very ceremonial way to take out the casket and lead it into the church there by the honor guard.